So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a treat for you on this Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday evening, whenever it is that you're doing your work today. I have a story for you. Yes, it is Read Aloud with Mrs. Milichowski time. This book has a lot of good information in it about things that we are currently studying, things that we will be studying later on in the chapter. And it's Friday. I thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different. There is one thing that I want you to do afterwards. If you look back to the original post, you'll see that there is a blank space for you to answer the question. I want you to write as many vocab words as you catch during the story. Now, if you want to grab a piece of paper right now and jot them down, if you're the kind of person who's going to hear it and pause it and go type it in, that's okay too, whatever you want. But I want you to try to get as many math vocabulary words out of this story to enter into the screen as you can. Are you ready? Here we go. The book is called Perimeter, Area, and Volume, a Monster Book of Dimensions. By David A. Adler, illustrated by Edward Miller. The monsters are kind of cute. Have you ever been to a 3D movie? 3D movies look real. If there's a monster walking on the screen, it might seem as if he is walking towards you. As the monster on the screen gets bigger and bigger, it seems as if he's coming closer and closer. Such movies are called 3D because they seem to have three dimensions. They seem to have length, width, and depth. And if you catch, there's little, it says littles. I think it's supposed to be like Skittles. And this is Junior's candy, like Junior Mints. There's cute little puns. The three dimensions are sometimes called by different names. We might say something is tall, high, or long, wide or broad, deep or thick. Whatever words we use, all things we can hold or walk around have three dimensions. Here are the monster stars of the movie Monsters in the Neighborhood. They're posing for a picture. Are they all the same size? Some might be the same height, but not the same size. Height is just one dimension. Each monster has three dimensions. Height, width, depth, height, width, depth, etc., etc., etc. Each monster is tall or short. Each monster is wide or narrow. Each monster is fat or thin. To know how big something really is, you need to know all three dimensions. But sometimes you need to know just one dimension. In the movie Monsters in the Neighborhood, the monsters are bothered by nosy neighbors who run across their yards and look in their windows. The monsters decide to put up fences. Before they can buy the fences, they need to know how long each side must be. They need to know the total length of the fence around each yard. Length is just one dimension. Take a look at these 2 yards. One is bigger than the other. How much fencing would the monsters need for each yard? To find out, add up the lengths of all the sides. When you add up the sides of each yard, you are finding its perimeter, the distance around. Down here, this is 66 feet, 80 feet, 60 feet, 80 feet. This would be a trapezoid because these sides are not the same. This one is 42 by 90 by 40 by 90. Again, a trapezoid. They tell us 1 foot is approximately 1/3 of a meter. And this little apostrophe means foot or feet. So this yard would be 286 feet around. This yard would be 262 feet around. The distance around its circle is its circumference. To find the circumference of a circle, you must first measure its radius, the length of a straight line drawn from any point on the edge of the circle to its center. Then you double its radius and multiply that by pi, which is about 3.14. Inches, feet, miles, centimeters, meters, and kilometers each measure just one dimension. The double apostrophe or the quotation means inches. 1 inch is about 2.54 centimeters. The radius here was 25 feet. 25 times 2 times 3.14 gives us an area of about 157 inches. Nope, I lied. Not area. Circumference. I'm a page ahead. Look at the posters outside the movie theater. Each has a drawing of a monster. Do the monsters in the posters look real? It's difficult to make a drawing look completely real because real things have 3 dimensions and a picture has 2 dimensions. Pictures have just length and width. Pictures in the surfaces of flat objects have 2 dimensions. With paper and crayons, draw a picture of a monster. Does it look real? He's trying to copy the poster. It's so cute. How big is the movie screen? If the side of each square is 1 foot long by 1 foot wide, the area of the square is 1 square foot. Count the squares. You are finding the area of the screen. Look again at the screen. It is a rectangle. It has 4 straight sides. Its opposite sides are the same size, and all 4 angles are right angles. To find the area of a rectangle, you multiply its length by its width. The length of the movie screen is 12 feet. Its width is 16 feet. The area is 12 feet times 16 feet. Its area is 192 square feet. 1 square foot is about 0.09 square meters. Area measures surface. It's a 2-dimensional measure. Get a ruler or a tape measure. Measure the area of this page. It is 10 inches long and 8.25 inches wide. To find the area of this page, multiply the length by the width. Square inches, square feet, square miles, square centimeters, square meters, and square kilometers each measure area. 1 square inch is about 6.45 square centimeters. Answer: the area of this page is 82.5 square inches, if you actually did the math for that. This book has 3 dimensions. The very top of this page to the bottom is the book's length. The left side of this page to its right side is the book's width. And when you close this book and look at the pile of pages bound together, you are looking at the book's 3rd dimension, its depth or thickness. At the movies, you can buy a large box of popcorn or a jumbo box. Which box is bigger? That's easy. The jumbo box is bigger. What makes one box bigger than the other? One box is bigger than the other because it's higher, wider, or thicker. When any one of the 3 dimensions increases, the size of the box increases. Of course, when both boxes are filled, the jumbo popcorn box has more popcorn in it than the large box. I really don't think they're social distancing here. We call the amount a box holds, or the space anything with 3 dimensions takes up, its volume. The larger the box, the greater its volume. The jumbo box is 8 inches high, 6 inches wide, and 4 inches deep. To find its volume, multiply 8 by 6 by 4. The volume of the jumbo box is 192 cubic inches. The large box is 6 inches high, 4 inches wide, and 3 inches deep. To find its volume, multiply 6 by 4 by 3. The volume of the large box is 72 cubic inches. You can compare the volume of many boxes by measuring the 3 dimensions of each and then multiplying. 4 by 6 by 8, 3 by 4 by 6. 192 compared to 72. 1 cubic inch is about 16.3, 16.4 cubic centimeters. A cube has 3 dimensions: height, width, and depth. So we measure the volume in cubic measures. A cubic inch is a cube that is 1 inch high, 1 inch wide, and 1 inch deep. A cubic centimeter is a cube that is 1 centimeter high, 1 centimeter wide, and 1 centimeter deep. Cubic inches, cubic feet, cubic centimeters, and cubic meters each measure volume. Cubic inch, cubic centimeter. Tonight is the opening night of Monsters in the Neighborhood. The monster stars and their families have come to the premiere. It's time for pictures. The photographer tells the monsters and their families to line up. He wants short monsters in the front and tall monsters in the back. In lining up the monsters, the photographer is only interested in one dimension. He is only interested in the height of the monsters. It's starting to rain. The photographer puts away his camera. The monsters rush to get inside, but the door is not made for monsters. Some of them are too tall to get through. Some are too wide to get through. The door frame has two dimensions. It has height and width. Now it is time to go home, but it is still raining. There are lots of raincoats and lots of sizes. The biggest monster will need the biggest raincoat. The size of each monster is determined by how tall or short, how wide or narrow, and how fat or thin the monster is. Perimeter and circumference are the distances around one-dimensional shapes. Area is the space inside a two-dimensional shape object. Volume is the space a three-dimensional object contains. Monsters and everything you can hold, pick up, or walk around have three dimensions. Perimeter, area, volume. The movie was sold out. So I want you to go back and type in as many math vocabulary words as you caught as I was reading the story.